One study shows that veterans are responsible for 10% of all domestic terror attacks and plots since 2015. Joining me now with all of the insights on this is retired Marine Intelligence Officer Hal Kempfer. Hal, that statistic is just like blood-curdling. 10% of all domestic terror attacks, but vets represent like only 6% of the population. Why are the stats so high?
Well, Ashleigh, when you're looking at the actual violent attacks themselves, one thing the military and law enforcement has with their background is they're very well organized. They have tactical training. They understand how to use firearms. They understand how to plot things like these attacks that go beyond using firearms. So one of the reasons it looks a little disproportionate is simply because of capability of means. And I would go back historically and say that violent extremism tied to veterans actually goes back very long. One could look at the Reconstruction period of the U.S. I mean, it's just been popping up over and over again. With that said, I think the reason you see the violence associated with the military veterans is, and sometimes with actual military, is because of their capability. Not and you know, certainly a long history of trying to say, well, the veterans, PTSD, other issues and stuff like that. I just think that it really gets into their capability set.
Although I'll tell you what, doesn't take much to rent a truck, a Ford F-150 on a rental share site and drive down a crowded street. It doesn't take military knowledge. It doesn't take know-how. Yes, he was armed, and yes, he had improvised explosive devices that, from what we know now, didn't seem to go off. But do you think, Hal, that military members are ripe for the picking? I mean, they're just a perfect recruitment target for, say, a larger group like ISIS because of their military knowledge and because they're superior killers.
Well, one of the things historically is that, and it's not just ISIS, it's other violent extremist groups, domestic terrorists, white supremacists, anti-government groups. They will go out there and specifically target military members and members of law enforcement simply because their knowledge, skills, understanding the things that they can do, their capabilities that they can bring to their violent belief system in order to carry out these types of attacks and operations. So even if they're not necessarily ripe for it, they are specifically targeted for it, and they're like anybody else in this, in our age. With social media and so many other things, a lot of these groups are very sophisticated in terms of how they manipulate these individuals and basically bring them into their belief pattern and then set them on a very dangerous path.
This is a hard question to ask, and I'm going to be as sensitive as I can when I say this. Every time I see the video of the white Ford 150 taking a right off of Canal and going onto Bourbon Street and accelerating so quickly, knowing full well there was a pedicab, there were people. I mean, this instant, I think about the moment that it takes for the driver to see people's eyes and children and whatever might be in front of him or her and just exact that kind of horror. Do you think that military members have a switch? They've been trained, they've been taught how to kill and how to be able to kill. Is there a switch that I don't have, that a military member might have, and that just can be employed when they're at their weakest or when they have a mental breakdown?
Well, I don't know if they have a switch per se. There are some who've been in combat operations, obviously, who can kind of switch a little bit in terms of what they do. I will say, though, that when someone is in that violent extremist mindset, when they are focused on doing carnage, they have justified mass murder in a way that the normal things that you and I would associate as a turnoff switch, if you will, it's like, how could you do something like that? They're beyond that. They're looking at society, the world in a different way, and they're literally seeing those innocent victims as, in some ways, the enemy, if you will, to make their point. And by the way, one thing that we've often seen is something goes wrong in their private life. In this case, it looks like his second divorce had some violent things that went on in 2022 that may have been a trigger for him going to a violent ideology. We have seen that time and again, where this kind of this blurred, something goes wrong in the personal life, usually a marriage or something like that, and then they get tied into a violent ideology, and boom, that's what you see.
And that's the combustion that is needed to set off that kind of an event.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.